Hey everybody, this is TJR. I've mentioned this before, but just in case you don't know, I'll mention it again. I live in Orange County, California, which is the home of Disneyland. You could say that Disneyland is right in my backyard. It's probably about, 10 minutes away from me. And Disneyland, their presence here is huge because they are, probably the largest employer in Orange County. The businesses that surround Disneyland by a large extent, a lot of them rely on the fact that Disneyland is there to allow their businesses to run successfully. And I've heard this news and thought this is interesting, and I think actually it's a really good choice, that Disneyland is going to become basically what they call a super vaccination center. And this just got announced yesterday. I understand in Los Angeles it's going to be LA Stadium. And honestly, I don't have a whole lot of experience with LA Stadium, but I assume they know what they're doing, hopefully with handling large crowds of people. But here in Orange County, having gone to places like downtown Disney quite often prior to the pandemic, which is the shopping district between Disneyland and California Adventure, or adjacent to them is probably a better word, and having been to their theme park, I can say from personal experience that they are extremely experienced in handling large crowds of people and moving them effectively and efficiently through lines. And not just in how they handle their rides, which they do very well, but also during the pandemic, Disneyland has been closed. However, there has been a period of time where their downtown Disney shopping district has been open. And I've been rather impressed when I've gone there how well they have handled bringing people into the shopping district, the safety procedures they've gone through to make it safe if you're going there, how they've handled lines, crowds, making sure that people are distanced, making sure that there's sanitizer available to everybody whenever they need it. Just overall very impressed with how they've run that. And in fact, I have thought to myself that outside of isolating at home during this pandemic, the place I feel the safest at, if I go anywhere, is downtown Disney. More so than if I went to, the grocery store or Target or any other, place. I think there I have felt the safest because of just how well they have handled this. So I think having them as a super vaccination center is perfect because they've got the size. They've got, they've certainly got the size for that. They have employees that many of whom need to get back to work, which is good for them. But also, they know how to handle crowds. I understand that the plan is to try to vaccinate like 10 to 20,000 people a day. And of course, the first part of this will be just those who are healthcare workers and the elderly. This will go in phases, of course. We always knew this, of course. And you will have to have an appointment. But I think that they're very well qualified to help move people through, get them vaccinated, get them in and out, but do it in a way that is as safe as possible, especially since these are the more high-risk category people. I think this is just a really good choice to have them do this. And once again, I say this from my own personal experience in dealing with how they have dealt with this pandemic during this time. And I find this to be the first bit of really positive news here in 2021. I mean, I know we had the vaccine, but it seems like the forward momentum to get it out there has been a bit slow, but this feels like it's beginning to kickstart. And it's, to me, the first positive news of 2021 in regards to this, that we're now seeing the beginning of the light at the end of the tunnel. And I realize, of course, that just getting people vaccinated doesn't mean, that it's all over with. It's going to take a little time to get everybody vaccinated. And I know there's a follow-up shot that you have to do afterwards. You have to come back for a second one. There's news of an alternative strain of coronavirus in Europe. And so that has to be dealt with. But hopefully the fact that we now have a couple of vaccines that have proven effective, it's not going to be quite so hard to find a vaccine if it becomes necessary for these other strains. Once again, not a whole lot of information that I have on that. Perhaps we will discover that the vaccine we have will cover that strain. I don't know. If anybody from the medical community or the scientific community wants to chime in on that, please do if you're a viewer. But I see this as a positive sign. And it just feels really good to see a positive sign, to see that, okay, we're going to have this location that's really going to get large numbers of people vaccinated every day. And to me, that's fantastic. I'm assuming, of course, that the Disney employees who will be working during this, of course, will also be vaccinated probably first as well, which, naturally they should be, right alongside, the healthcare workers that will be working there as well. By the way, if you are in Orange County and you do want to find out about making an appointment to get your vaccine, go to occovid19.ochealthinfo.com. One funny thought, though, Disney being so good at marketing and merchandising, I couldn't help but think, what kind of merch might they spin off of this? I could picture things like t-shirts like, I went to Disneyland and all I got was a shot in the arm, something like that. I think that would be pretty funny. And I wouldn't blame them for doing it. I would say, hey, go for it. One other thing that I find very funny to think of is that on YouTube, there are these channels that exist. Seemingly, their whole reason for existence is just to bash on Disneyland and on Disney Studios, the company. For years now, they have been saying that the end is nigh. It's finally over. A year from now, Disneyland won't exist. Disney Studios will be bankrupt. They won't exist anymore. And they've been saying this year after year after year, and they come up with different reasons why, and then it doesn't happen, and then they find something else, and then that doesn't happen. It's like the religious nuts who keep saying it's the end of the world, and then the end of the world doesn't happen. But, these channels, I guess, are profitable because there are people who really like being fed this negative loop of information. And I probably shouldn't be bringing this up right now, but just the little devil inside me just can't resist, because I have to wonder, how are they going to negatively spin this? How are they going to find something negative out of this, which is a positive thing? Anyways, I know I shouldn't bring it up, but the little devil inside me just can't resist. Yes, I'm smiling. I'm making jokes because it just feels good to see and hear some positive news about this. And knowing that it's happening very soon. It's happening, I think it starts this weekend. Anyways, it just feels good to see something positive in regards to this and to see that we're beginning to make our way, through this mess that we've been in. And that's all. Just really happy to hear this. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all stay safe and healthy. Take care. Bye-bye.